hand, invisible brick, hand, invisible brick, slide hand, and twirl. Tuesday Collins pressed her hands against an invisible brick wall that she imagined was a bright, blazing yellow. Tilting her head at a young woman with red hair pulled into 2 braids, Tuesday lowered herself in a crouched position and felt around an illusioned box. The redhead arched a brow at Tuesday, paused, and scrambled on by. Tuesday sighed and slumped her shoulders in mock disappointment. As a man with salt and pepper hair walked her way, Tuesday's fingers fumbled up inside her black and white striped sleeves and plucked out a glittery pink orchid. She hopped off the stair-step in front of the man and held out the flower to him. The corners of the man's eyes wrinkled into a smile. "No thanks." Tuesday gestured to her dark bowler hat resting on the ground, filled with mostly pennies. "Oh." He dug into his pocket and pulled out 2 crisp $1 bills, dropping them into her hat. "That's what I'm talking about." She gave the man a widening smile and a hasty bow in thanks. Behind her came the soft clinks of a few more coins being released into her hat. Every Saturday and most Sundays, Tuesday spent her weekends performing mime tricks right outside the edge of the subway at Grand Central Station. In the background, the subway swished on by, gathering passengers as bagpipes, a saxophone, and a violin were played. Other entertainers inside were breakdancing, painting portraits, doing anything they could to break out and get noticed. All Tuesday wanted was to be the next great mime artist, like Marcel Marceau. However, she felt as though she'd been born decades or even centuries too late. It was a mostly dead trade, but she didn't care, because this was the weekend, her weekend, and one day she would get that Broadway play or that film or even join Cirque du Soleil. The morning sun was already beating down on her heavily painted face. Not breaking character, she pretended to pick up heavy boxes as she searched around the walking civilians, the leafless trees of autumn, the glass buildings. Her pantomime partner was nowhere to be found. Where the hell was Frances? Frances was always late for everything. She was late every Saturday. Hell, half the time Frances forgot the day was Saturday and didn't show up. It was as though she didn't take this as seriously as Tuesday, even though it had been Frances's idea to start coming out here on the weekends in the first place. Tuesday bet it had to do with Frances's new boyfriend, or possibly an old one. She placed her hand in position, as if she was holding a glass, and chugged the invisible drink. As her head lowered back down, she wiped a gloved hand across her mouth and her heart stopped. Literally stopped. There was a microsecond where she broke character, but no one noticed except for her. Before her stood a boy she knew incredibly well, one from school. Maybe not know in a close friend sense, but he was Frances's cousin. Her very, very cute cousin. Beck Barber. Beck. Why was he here? His bleached hair hung right at his pitch-black brows. He wore a long-sleeved Guns N' Roses shirt paired with tight black jeans and checkerboard Vans. She wanted to topple over and die right there. Seriously, just vanish. But she kept miming, hoping he wouldn't notice that the mime was indeed her. Tuesday's heart karate-kicked her sternum, bringing her back to the present. Beck wouldn't recognize her. Not in costume. Not with her face painted, beret, scarf, striped top, her skirt, the suspenders, black and white pantyhose, the boots, and her bob hair pulled back in braids. He barely gave her a nod when passing her at school, even though he'd moved across the street at the beginning of the year. She'd known him since kindergarten, but had only seen him at Frances's annual birthday parties, until this year. Tuesday tapped her knees and shot up, realizing she probably looked like a damn monkey instead of a toy jack popping out of its box. She sidestepped and attempted to focus her gaze on any other passing faces. There were none. Of course there weren't. Stupid in-between subway times. Seriously, where is Frances? Tuesday pulled a fake gold coin from her hidden skirt pocket and tossed it up and down in her gloved hand. Beck didn't move on.